Hello everyone and welcome to a microcasting severe weather update here for April 28th, 2020. We have a severe weather event that's going to occur today, and I'm going to give you all the information that you need to know in order to stay safe in this event and in order to know when this event will be impacting you. Let's get started. Here are the outlook threats. So we have a slight risk overall within the St. Louis area. That enhanced risk upgrade did not occur. And now there is a very focused area down in Oklahoma where the highest threat for strong winds, large hail, and tornadoes looks to be present. Still, we could get some pretty potent storms around here, hence the slight risk that exists for the wind, tornado, and hail threats as well. And we also do have a marginal risk of some flash flooding occurring, so some isolated flash flooding could occur with some particularly heavy storms. So here's the Storm Prediction Center's new outlook. Doesn't look overly different from yesterday for the St. Louis area. It's pretty much unchanged. The vast majority of the area remains in a slight risk for most hazards. The only thing that is not as high as it used to be is tornadoes. Now that does cut a line right through around St. Louis, going from northeast to southwest. So that particular line there, that's really going to be where your tornado threat gets cut off. And then after that, things are relatively low. So if you're in like DeSoto, Farmington, Poplar Bluff, your tornado threat's going to be a lot lower than we thought it would have been yesterday. So now let's get started with the severe risks. Here is 1 p.m. and you can see this line beginning to form near St. Joseph. That's the main event. There are also some cells out ahead of the line. They aren't in the most favorable conditions in the world, but a few of these could pop off and become severe, and even a few of these could become tornadic. So these do need to be watched, as some of these cells ahead of the line could spin up a tornado or two, and could also produce other severe hazards. Microcasting social media will be keeping you up to date throughout the day on when severe storms are present. Looking at 4 p.m., you can see some of those cells did strengthen just north of St. Louis. So we'll see some cells probably up there. And then you can also see this line of cells that's going to converge into a line. While these are individual cells, the hail and tornado threats remain to be at their maximum. So this is probably going to be around peak time for the tornado threat. So places like Columbia, Jefferson City, Rolla, even places like Moberly, Sedalia, all those areas need to be watching out for the tornado threat. And also some of those cells, again, north of St. Louis there, and some of them could be south too. They're just going to be scattered around the area. Those could also pose those severe risks. All right, when we get into 7 p.m., we look at this now long line of storms, and you can see lots of those black outlines. And again, that's where there's an enhanced amount of lift. So basically what that means is that the strongest storms embedded within this line will likely be severe and will likely be producing strong winds and maybe even some large hail with this particular setup. So definitely something that needs to be watched closely. And finally, by 10 p.m., after this thing was knocking on our doorstep, it's moved through St. Louis, and now the southern St. Louis area is getting impacted, likely with some stronger winds. By 1 a.m., we are definitely seeing this move out of the St. Louis area, and you can see that clearly here. Still some drizzle may be possible in downtown St. Louis, and we're going to have another wave of showers and storms behind that. That will not be achieving severe status, at least on a widespread scale. Can't ever really rule out something isolated behind the line, but relatively unlikely at this time that any of those will pose any severe hazards. All right, well, you can follow us on Facebook at Microcasting St. Louis, on Twitter at Microcasting STL, and on Instagram at Microcasting St. Louis. You can also join our Discord server, become a part of the weather community over there. The link is in the description for that. And that's also the medium in which you can become a part of our microcasting team. Alright, well thank you all so much for watching the video. I do hope you enjoyed it. Like the video if you liked it. If you didn't like it, you know where that button is. If you really enjoyed our content and want to see more of it, you can subscribe and hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Alright, again, thank you so much for watching. Microcasting may go live later today regarding the severe threat. This is Microcasting St. Louis, signing out.